So, I'll start from the last lecture where I stopped actually. GA is good for those problems which are loosely structured, okay, and objective function and the constraint both, or maybe any one of them, may be difficult to express, and it will be difficult to get the derivative or guess the direction of descent, okay. So in those kind of problems GA may work well. We'll see why that will work well, okay. And we also discussed what is meant. Basically it is basically a pre-programmed self-running set scheme, and it has a tendency that it can run, it can adapt to the situation and go on running rather than stalling, as in case of a mathematical problem or a mathematical algorithm. Now, this genetic algorithm is, as I told you, is inspired by a biological phenomena of survival of the fittest, which is the Darwin's theory, which you can say. Individual having the best genes to survive in nature on some basis has a tendency to be to survive on that fitness basis. Other will die. So that is how what it says, that in a population, the better and better population will better and better individuals in a population has a tendency to survive, and the weaker population actually goes out in the race or loses in the race. So in this you will see that genetic algorithm basically uses the concept of genetics to devise certain mathematical tools. So this is very important here. Certain mathematical tools are devised using this concept of genetics to prepare or to make a good searching scheme, okay, which gives you a better search of the search for the optimization problems. You will note that you will find the terms like generation, population, parents, offsprings, fitness, mating pool, selection of survival or survival of fittest. I think there is a spelling mistake here. Crossover. In genetics, crossover is a process, and reproduction and mutation. This kind of words you will see, and they will have a particular kind of meaning, or given a particular kind of mathematical meaning to these words, which helps in devising these mathematical tools. So basically, generation and evaluation of population make the search process self-adaptive. Okay, so in this case, as I have told, that we take cue from genetics. So generation and evaluation of population, that means there are generations of population which goes on. Generation starts, and then another generation starts, and this actually evolves, and this circle of evolution goes on and on. So if you adopt that kind of a concept, then you can develop a search process which is self-adaptive, self-regulated, and self-running also, till you would like to stop it on a certain basis. So we'll just see how this is actually devised. Now, the important question in genetics is, how do the fittest individual evolve from the non-fittest? That means why we expect in a population, as the time passes, the population becomes better and better. Okay, why? That was basically what Darwin actually opined, or gave the whatever called the survival of the fittest concept. So that fittest individual from the non-fittest evolve because there is reproduction among individuals. So individuals get together and reproduce offspring. So parents produce offspring, and out of those offspring only survival of the fittest happen, and this fittest offspring again become parents, and this process goes on, and that is how it is expected that the better and better parents or better and better offspring are involved in further getting giving rise to new generation. That is how you can have a better individual as the generation goes off. There is also a concept of mutation in nature which happens in nature, and you sometimes find a very peculiar kind of or some sudden changes happening in certain kind of certain kind of population. So that is a concept of mutation that also happens in nature. So because of these three reasons, reproduction and survival of fittest and mutation, this process actually give rise to evolving of better and better individual or fitter individual from the, you can say, non-fittest. Now let us try to see how this algorithm actually is designed. And so I am giving you a very crude way of trying to explain you in a crude way how this algorithm is designed, so that we can when we go further we will know where those basically those small pieces will fit in. So first we'll just see what is the bigger picture of this algorithm, and then we'll try to see in smaller parts how this algorithm is designed and how the programs are made, so that we can understand the parts also. So here if you see, this algorithm starts with a population of points of x. So not 1x, not a initial starting 1x point is taken, but we take maybe a population of points. So we define number of population of point we start with, and we calculate the fitness values. Here there is a fitness values, we call the same, it may be same as objective values also, but fitness values may be different also, okay, but they are related to objective values. So calculate objective values fx for all x. So many points are calculated. Now out of this population we select the fittest individuals. I have highlighted this word because they are coming from the concept of biological literature, okay, so that's why I have colored. There's no special reason for coloring them, just to show how these words are coming. So now this we select the fittest individuals from the population of x based on relative values of x. So some concept or some kind of method we use which actually select some of the fittest individual or better individual than the others, and rest all are left out, say, okay. Now in step 3 we allow the parents to reproduce. That is, what are these parents? Basically this fittest individual come in as parents, okay, and they evolve, get into a process of reproduction to produce new offspring. So this is how new set of offsprings are produced. And again if you remember, we have selected only fittest individuals from the whole population, so rest of the population is not there. After reproduction we generate again the full population which was taken here, and then it is passed on here, and then we have a new pool of population and pass it to a new generation. So that is what we call it as a new pool of population and new generation. And we go to step 2 from here. So it doesn't check that what is to be done. We know, because we are already in all the cases we are again and again selecting fittest and rejecting the non-fittest one. So this process of selecting the fittest, reproduction and selecting the fittest and so on gives a better set of individuals. And there is one thing which I have missed out here, or we didn't tell anything here, that is mutation. This is also another process which is sparingly allowed to happen, as in nature also it is happening very less. Some kind of mutation happen in the individuals, and that comes into this particular population. And this, if you see this algorithm and compare with the conventional method, this algorithm have no tendency to stop or stall. Okay, it will only stop till when you want it to stop. Otherwise this can go on and on once you have started this one, so there is no problem of stalling. However, this problem of um, it is not having problem stalling, but it may take very long time to give you the exact answer to your problem. So you have to choose this method wisely for those problems which actually requires this kind of treatment. But here, if you see, this is a slightly stronger algorithm as far as processing and running is concerned, and it is more robust because it doesn't require anything to be done except for calculating this fitness function or the objective function again and again, and of course doing certain processes or certain, you can say, operations. Otherwise it only involves again finding the value of fx. It is not actually finding any kind of gradient or guessing any kind of direction or step length, etc. So there is, and those things are avoided here, and that is how it makes more sense that it will not stall or not stop anywhere. And that is also, if you see, the number of points you assume is higher, and that actually helps us in running this program. So if you see, you can just go back with the last lecture and see the comparison of these two methods, that is the conventional method and the this particular algorithm which we have just discussed. So this is a very at a very basic level we have discussed. So this is all for in this lecture. We'll meet in the next lecture. Thank you.